What comes to mind when you think about Silent Hill? Depression? Symbolism? Fighting against spooky, but attractive monsters? No, dummy, it's none of those things. It's actually about killing enemies with a Japanese halberd while dodging their attacks and looking at your stamina bar. But actually all of the other stuff too. After more than a decade of not having any new Silent Hill titles, we finally got one in the form of the Silent Hill 2 remake. And now, a year later, we get Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F has a lot of hard-hitting themes. Things that some of us might be experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Identity crisis, feeling lost, not meeting other people's expectations of you, and beating the everlasting snot out of deformed monsters. You know, relatable stuff. The story was written by Ryukishi07, the creator of Higurashi no Nako Koro ni. I watched the anime back in the day, and yeah, there are some similarities. He really likes it when kids beat the crap out of someone with a blunt object. Most of the explanations and deep dives into the symbolism and themes of this game will come towards the end. First, I gotta give you a little, tiny, brief 1-hour summary of the game. Is this the long-awaited comeback for Silent Hill? Is Silent Hill finally back, or is it just a cheap imitation? Let's get into it. Before we begin, if you're a Silent Hill fanboy, or fangirl, you should probably know that Silent Hill, the town, never makes an appearance. It's never even mentioned. The cult isn't mentioned. There's basically no ties to the previous games.
Oh, really?
Now, I can talk about how this doesn't make it a proper Silent Hill title, that it's not connected to the previous games whatsoever, which is true, but I'll touch on that more towards the end of the video. Isn't that right, Pyramid Boy? You handsome devil? If this game did anything right, it's to not put you in the game, like other Silent Hill titles did. Homecoming. Anyway, for now, let's focus on the game itself and judge it by its own merits. Like in the classic games, there's a separate difficulty for puzzles. Nice! I played on hard mode for both combat and puzzles. The game takes place sometime in the 1960s, in the fictional Japanese town of Ebisugaoka. The protagonist, Shimizu Hinako, isn't really liked by the other girls in town, because she hangs out with boys. A girl playing with boys? I know, what an insane concept. Luckily, she finds comfort in her big sister Junko. They haven't seen each other a lot since Junko moved out and got married, but they're still close. On the other hand, she doesn't have a great relationship with her parents. Remember, this is Japan in the 60s. If you have the gall to badmouth your parents, you're expected to disembowel yourself. They have a fight, and Hinako gets out of the house. At this point you can access your journal and read about the characters you've encountered. Each time you meet someone, or something significant happens, Hinako will write it down. We can learn that she likes sports and playing with boys, which is insane according to the local girls. One of the main themes here is what a woman is supposed to be according to society. She should dress well, act in a pleasant way, and live to serve her man. Maybe make him a peanut butter sandwich. Not complain when he talks about video games all day. Wait, how did that get in here? But Hinako is not like that. She admits to being kind of rebellious, which is also why she fights with her parents a lot. So what do you do in a situation like this, when you can't complain about it on Twitter because it doesn't exist yet? You actually go outside and talk with your friends. Your asshole friends.
I just want to talk to someone. I'll be there in a bit, okay? See you.
You traitor.
Yep, that's what I like to hear when I want my friends to comfort me. Her name is Sakuko, and apparently she owes Hinako 500 yen and refuses to pay it back. That bitch. There's also Shu, Hinako's best friend since childhood. They played a made-up game about hunting aliens and called each other partner. In other words, they're both in the friend zone, which means they're both awkward as hell.
say something.
What about you? Nothing you want to say?
Well, if you don't have anything, neither do I.
Well, that's my Hinako.
Wow, this is more awkward than the time I went to a club like 10 years ago and stood in the corner for like 2 hours. Never went outside since. There's also Rinko, who is a total bitch, but we'll get there. It's abundantly clear the girls aren't treating her with any respect. While each of them brags about how they borrowed stuff from her and aren't going to give it back, you know, like the good friends they are, Hinako notices fog creeping in. It's a Silent Hill game, so it's not surprising, but so what? The fog is never dangerous, it can't actually hurt them, it hurts them. A lot. It instantly kills Sakuko. It then starts attacking the rest of them, and okay, whenever the fog started to chase after and damage the characters, I kept thinking, that's not how that works, the fog is just that. Fog. At best, it's a metaphor for the characters' waning memories, a metaphor for them being lost and confused. It's not a physical, aggressive entity that corrupts everything it touches, at least it sounds creepy. Wait, can fog even produce sounds? Sorry, I'll save the Silent Hill rant for the end of the video. Speaking of corruption, there's a neat detail about the main menu. The more you progress through the game, the more corrupted it becomes. It's cool, so I wanted to mention it. As you might have guessed, there's a lot of symbolism in this game. According to my super duper extensive research, these red flowers represent passionate love, but they might also be a sign of noble death and rebirth among warriors. Anyway, Hinako barely manages to escape the menacing fog, thanks to a ladder seemingly dropped by her sister Junko. She got hurt somehow, but luckily, Shu gave her some painkillers when they met. He's been doing that for a while, since she's always complaining about headaches. They heal both your health and sanity. Yeah, you have a sanity meter here, but it doesn't work the way you think. It's not like in Amnesia, or Call of Cthulhu, or Eternal Darkness, where you start hallucinating. It's more like a shield. When it's gone, you'll take health damage instead. It goes down when you see spooky stuff up close, like the first enemy, which falls down like a really drunk person and then starts walking like a really drunk person. It does look creepy with its eyes shut like that. What's that? Of course there's symbolism in the way it looks. We'll talk about it later. Hinako doesn't have a weapon yet, so she has to run away. If you manage to climb to a higher surface, the enemies won't be able to touch you, so you're safe. Good thing to— oh shit! After successfully running away, Hinako takes shelter inside of a house. No one is here. It seems abandoned, like everyone just disappeared.
You picked the wrong house,
Oh,
fool!
come on! Yeah, this whole town is crawling with monsters. After running away from a few of them, Hinako finally finds a weapon. A classic Silent Hill staple, the pipe. Okay, let's quickly talk about the gameplay, because it's significantly different from any other Silent Hill game. I don't know how I feel about the combat. The stamina and the way you lock onto enemies obviously reminded me of Dark Souls. But no, just because a game has a stamina meter doesn't make it a Souls-like, and for anyone complaining about how you can dodge enemy attacks, you could already do that in Silent Hill 4. Henry could jump like 2 meters to the side, and you could technically dodge in the first game if you jumped backwards. Look at that little hop. So dodging was always a part of the franchise, but it was never tied to a stamina bar. And now, if you dodge right before being hit, your stamina will be fully restored. You can perform a light and heavy attack. You can parry enemy attacks, but the timing is kind of tricky. Finding the right moment to strike can also be tricky. The enemies move in unpredictable ways, at least until you memorize their movements, then they're very predictable. Just like the amount of matches I get on dating apps. Yes, I know you get more matches than me. Shut up!
Shut up!
I already mentioned the sanity meter. Its maximum capacity goes down if you're grabbed or licked. Which sucks, but at least you can use it to perform special attacks by focusing really hard. I did not know that focusing on something can drain my mental health. I also did not know that eating painkillers can improve my mental health. Maybe I should try it. Just like I didn't know that faith was a form of currency. If you have enough faith, you can increase your max sanity. Same goes for health and stamina. The way you get faith is not by praying to gods. You get it if you put dead animals and other random crap next to shrines. You use them as offering for gods. You can even use sushi. So there's RPG mechanics in a Silent Hill game. That's weird, right? Well, I guess if Doom can have it, then so can Silent Hill. Also, yes, it's kind of absurd that a high school teenager would actually be capable of fighting these monsters with pipes and halberds, which seems like something straight out of 90% of anime, but technically, Heather could kill God with a katana she found in a random office building, so I guess it was always absurd. The reason I'm not sure what to think about the combat is because it feels too fast-paced for a Silent Hill game, too actiony, but at the same time it's kind of tense. It might be kind of fast for a survival horror game, but it's not like she's Doom Guy, your character is still slow, so I don't know, it is fun overall. I do appreciate the fact that you can mostly run away from enemies. You don't have to fight horrible abominations that crawl out of your subconscious. This is also one of the few Silent Hill games with a limited inventory, which can be increased over time. There is something stupid here though. You know how in every single video game ever, if you run out of a particular item, it disappears from the inventory? You know, because it doesn't exist anymore? It does not do that here. You need to manually remove them yourself. Imagine if you run out of ammo in Resident Evil and the ammo icon doesn't disappear. It just stays there even though you have 0 bullets. I think they only take space in your quick select menu and not in the actual inventory, but it's still stupid. Oh, and you don't have guns here. You can only use melee weapons, which function similarly to Downpour and Origins, I guess. You randomly find them lying around, and they eventually break. But you can fix them if you have a toolkit. You should always be on the lookout for these. There's also passive buffs you can find in the environment, like an increase to your health or stamina.
Nice.
But you can also get random ones from the shrine, which is also where you save the game. If you've played any classic Silent Hill game, you know they have the best map system in gaming. Whenever you interact with a door or an object of significance, the protagonist will mark it on the map. That way, you always know exactly where you've been and where you need to go. It's great. Well, it's the same in Silent Hill F. The map remembers every door you opened and every puzzle you solve. It even shows your objective. It's also wonderful. You also don't need to find a new map every time you enter a new area, which does remove some of the tension of being in unfamiliar territory, but it's not a big deal. Now, this will sound insane, but I think Silent Hill F is the first game in the franchise to not have any quicktime events, not even when an enemy grabs you. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm serious. Pretty much every game has them. Yes, even the first one. Sure, you didn't see a big prompt telling you to press X to not die, but you still needed to quickly press buttons whenever something grabbed you. Also, you can break the enemy's AI by walking in circles around them. They're not that smart.
I can't believe you've done this.
Anyway, let's get back to that sweet, depressing story.
What's going on with that radio?
Okay, before that, I just wanna mention that Akira Yamaoka is back as a composer, which is obviously amazing. I don't know if he or if someone else did this, but some of the sounds you hear during combat are super creepy. It's great. It sounds like someone is being possessed by a demon, or someone who is really disgusted by the food they just ate. Anyway, after murdering a few deformed females, Hinako ends up back where Sakuko died. She turned into flowers. Even though she didn't pay back the 500 yen, Hinako gets a bit emotional over her death. This is supposed to be a sad moment, but I didn't really know this girl, so I don't care about her, which I can honestly say about most of the characters. It's kind of like how it was with Cynthia in SH4. You meet her for the first time, and 10 minutes later she's dead. At least she offered to do a special favor for Henry, so she's more memorable. Also, for a teenager who just lost her friend and had to fight off supernatural monsters, Hinako got used to the situation pretty quickly.
Go home. The store's closed for the day. Sakuko. Even if you're gone, I'll keep my promise. No matter what.
Okay, calm down. You're gonna break your pipe. She then tries to fight the fog itself, but obviously that's not gonna work. It's just a fog, damn it. But then some kind of red energy attacks her, and she passes out as the town disappears behind her. Which is a cool visual. The atmosphere in this game is really good. She then wakes up in a spooky place called the Dark Shrine. I guess this is the equivalent to the other world in the other games. After solving a puzzle that took me way too long to figure out, she's again attacked by the red energy. It's so powerful, it attacked me in real life and caused my frame rate to drop. Ow! She manages to escape and meets this foxy man. Is that what the F stands for?
Are you injured? You must not be so reckless. You should take better care of yourself.
He seems to know who she is, and seemingly wants to help her. So of course he disappears and leaves her alone in the dark. Ooh, a cheeky reference. The atmosphere in this place is different from the town, but it's also spooky. Look at this spooky red sky. Hinako follows him because she has nothing better to do, when... Oh hey, he looks just like my meth head neighbor. This enemy is basically the licker from RE2. It can't see, but the moment it hears you, it becomes super aggressive and licks your face. When you're in the Dark Shrine dimension, your weapons have infinite durability, which might suggest that Hinako feels more in control about her life here, more composed. In gameplay though, it means you can whack the enemies as much as you want. Dealing with them is easy enough, but in this case, they keep respawning and you have to deal with them while solving a puzzle. By the way, except for a few annoying ones, which forced me to look at a walkthrough, the puzzles are generally well made. After solving the puzzle, Hinako enters a shrine and finds a key. Foxman reappears and acts like everything is normal, and like this is some kind of romantic gift.
So you accept my gift. I fashioned this key from Mystic Jade. Especially for you.
Especially for me?
Something ain't right with this Foxy Moxy, especially since he disappears again, leaving nothing but red farts that damages Hinako's sanity. And there's a doll with a red dress that tells us not to trust him. A lot of literal red flags. You have to run away, because there's tons of enemies and you're getting AoE damage from the air. But I was stubborn and kicked their asses. It didn't end well for me. Hinako puts the key inside the mouth of Inari, a statue of this fox god, who is a deity worshipped by the town Hinako lives in. We'll talk about him later. Foxboy shows up again, and even though he keeps disappearing and leaving her alone with monsters, Hinako seems to trust him completely. Is that what a healthy relationship looks like? He guides her through this place, and she blindly follows his lead without question, which reinforces the theme of how society in that period of time wanted women to be obedient towards their men. But then something bonks her on the head, and she teleports back to Silent Hill. I mean, the town she lives in. I keep forgetting Silent Hill doesn't exist in this Silent Hill game. She wakes up next to her friend-zoned partner, and he's really happy to see her.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's one nightmare after another.
Still though, I got lucky. Even if no one else is left in this world, it's good to know you're still around.
Okay, stop trying to be romantic in a time like this.
Wait, what about Rinko?
She just said she needed to talk to me about something. But,
Rinko was supposed to be with you. How do we know if she's alright?
This knucklehead really thought she asked him about Rinko because she was jealous. At a time like this, since Rinko is the only one left alive, as far as they know, they decide to go to her house and search for her. They start walking together. Oh wait, he disappeared. No wait, he actually just went ahead and left Hinako behind. And he'll keep doing that over and over again every time they meet up. In terms of gameplay, I get why the developers did this. They didn't want to program an AI for these characters, which is good. A horror game that actually tries to be spooky should be a solo experience. But it's kind of dumb in terms of the story. Hinako never calls him an asshole for abandoning her after they agree to stick together in this monster-infested town. It's kind of silly. If you want to be charitable, you can say that it's a metaphor for how she feels alone and abandoned in her life. But no, Shu is just an asshole. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but whenever I explore this town, the game gives me Fatal Frame and Siren vibes, more than Silent Hill. I have to commend the game, even though it has all of these action mechanics, light and heavy attack, dodging, countering enemy attacks, the game still manages to be spooky. I'm someone who played a ton of quality horror games during my lifetime, but I still felt unnerved sometimes. It even managed to jump scare me a couple of times. The jump scares are actually good and don't feel cheap. Mostly. Hinako makes her way towards Rinko's house. The main antagonist of this section is a teleporting Scarecrow. No, seriously, there's an urban legend about it and everything. It will hunt you down till the ends of the earth. It teleports every time you're not looking. That's kind of unsettling. It eventually leads you to a nice little puzzle. There's multiple Scarecrows, and you have to choose the correct one based on a riddle. If you get it right, it will start twitching and point you to your next destination. It kind of looks like me when I get out of bed. It's even kind of tense. If you get it wrong, they will try to hug you without consent.
Double kill!
The only thing I don't really like about it is the fact that you have to solve the same puzzle like 5 times. Yeah, the riddle is different, but it's the same principle each time. I do like it overall. It reinforces the themes of the game while also keeping you on your toes, especially since sometimes they just move on their own. Eventually Hinako solves the puzzle and we get a spooky transition.
Hey! Hinako!
Wait. What just happened?
Come on! Hurry!
Hey, shut up! I'm having an existential crisis here. What do you want? Oh, the game crashed. Yeah, that happened a couple of times. Maybe the sanity mechanic does work like in Eternal Darkness.
This isn't really happening!
Hinako meets this dork in front of Rinko's house. They call out to her, and the second she sees Shu, she clings to him like he's a protagonist in a harem anime. Not that I would know anything about that.
What's with the monsters everywhere? What in the world is going on?
They go inside, and after realizing that everyone is gone besides them, they decide to get out of town. Hit the road. Hightail out of here. The only way out is through a bridge, but it's broken.
What do we do?
Oh, we can't use the bridge.
Oh really? We can't use the clearly broken bridge? Thank you, Captain Obvious. What would we do without you? Actually, they're all idiots. They could just climb around it. What, they can't swim a little and climb on a few rocks? I can climb on a few rocks. No, instead of doing the sensible thing, they decide to go all the way to Shu's house, because there's a highway nearby. Rinko goes to grab supplies for the road ahead, and Hinako is trying to be nice and help out.
I'll go get it. Hey. I'll help you look for it.
Not a bad idea, partner.
Come on, Shu. Stop being so cringe. Remember how I called Rinko a total bitch? She's clearly antagonistic towards Hinako. She obviously likes Shu and thinks Hinako is getting in the way because she's hanging out with him all of the time. Rinko gets jealous. So of course she does the sensible thing and talks with Rinko about it. You know, have a sensible conversation. Nah, she pushes her down the stairs. Hinako wakes up in the dark shrine again, which will keep happening every time she's knocked out. She sees the foxy man again and decides to go after him.
What? He can't wait for me to catch up?
I like the way this place looks. It's clean, well kept, which is the opposite of the foggy town. It's also very spooky. The atmosphere is great. You walk around in silence, occasionally hearing something in the distance. You're just waiting for something to jump on you, but nothing does. Well, at least until you see this cool Japanese halberd. Gimme, gimme, gimme! This is probably the best weapon in the game. It does a lot of damage and has a long reach.
This must be special. Sorry. I'll hold on to it for a bit.
If you explore, you'll find a doll again, which keeps telling you to stay away from Foxman. There's also a note, specifically talking about Hinako and how she's basically property. And there's a high chance it was written by the same Foxman, and Hinako doesn't react to any of it. Now that's just preposterous. Hinako eventually finds a big door, but is then distracted by the voice of her dead friend. Hate when that happens.
Hinako! Over here! Sakako?
The voice leads her to an altar. She picks up a stone orb, which causes a collection of children's heads to dance and scream behind her. This cute abomination is responsible for the red energy that gives Hinako some mean headaches.
These nightmares have given me a mean headache.
You can't kill them at this point, as they will respawn. You have to run away. They hop playfully and can drain your sanity with their screaming. They may represent the internal chaos and struggle inside of Hinako regarding the way she feels about herself. It will make sense in a little while. Symbolism! Anyway, she puts the orb into a fox's mouth and the door opens up. She finds Sakuko crying, but based on my amazing deduction skills, I don't think that's her. First of all, she died, but second, this does not look like a teenager who borrowed 500 yen and never returned it. Or maybe it does.
You traitor!
Sakuko! Why?
See? I told you it's not Sakuko. It's more like Sekiro. Shadows die twice. If you played it, you know there's a really similar looking boss fight over there. Maybe Silent Hill is a Souls-like after all.
Hinako has been saved!
This is the first boss fight. There's not a lot of them, but when they show up, you really need to step up your game. Learn their moveset, know when to strike, hear them bitch about you.
You traitor! Liar! You traitor! I don't want to be alone! Why you again, you left me? It's mine now!
No, stop kissing me. Stop it, you can keep the money. So if you couldn't tell, this is Sakuko, or at least a manifestation of her hatred towards Hinako. Why does she hate her so much? Why does she call her a traitor? If you search around, you can find more about her. She was rejected by a lot of people, but Hinako accepted her as a friend. She loved her for that, but always feared Hinako would leave her. One day, Hinako left her behind in some race in school, and she cried about it. And eventually Hinako left her and the rest of her friends because of something that we'll get to later. Sakuko saw that as a betrayal. Also, she's mentally challenged. Hinako doesn't manage to defeat her, but is instead saved by Fox Dude. Finally, he does something useful. He basically one-shots Sakuko and explains how she was just an evil spirit. Why can't I do that?
How foolish of an evil spirit to enter this place.
What was that?
An impurity that haunts you no more. Rest assured, you are safe now.
He then explains that before moving on, they need to be cleansed, which means drinking boiling lava. What?
Calm yourself. It is but water.
Oh, it was just her imagination. Okay, let's drink. Oh god, what have you done to me? If you wanted me to drink hot water, you could have just made me some tea. Before passing out, she sees her childhood doll again, and despite getting multiple warnings about Foxman, she'll continue to trust him, even when she has lava in her mouth. Hinako wakes up in the house. Of course, Rinko denies any involvement in her passing out. They head out to Shu's house, and she keeps being a whiny, jealous crybaby.
Come on.
Well, you're going to protect me, right? I'm not tough like Hinako, you know?
Yeah, don't worry. Stay close to me.
I'll stay behind you, Shu. It's safest in the middle. Shu, how much longer are you gonna keep up this partner routine? You talk to her like she's a schoolboy.
I call her partner because she's my partner. I've never treated her like a girl.
Now that you mention it, yeah, you haven't.
Hinako, has anyone ever told you that when you talk to Shu, you sound kinda manly?
Just got into the habit of talking like this, I guess.
I mean, we've been hanging out with each other since we were little kids.
So that's why you two didn't get into a relationship, huh?
Hinako! You're late. I was worried about you.
He wasn't worried at all. He knew his dear partner would be alright.
Shut up,
They get close to Shu's house, but a single, small gate is blocking the way. So,
The key should be somewhere in the school.
you know you can climb on it, right? Like, really easily. Why are you going inside of a school to search for a key when you can easily climb the 5-foot gate? Why do you enjoy making things difficult for yourself? They go into a classroom and Shu actually tries to be considerate and offers Hinako to rest while he searches for the key. Of course the crybaby doesn't want him to leave, so Hinako ends up going instead. The characters are idiots, but I'm not complaining, because their stupidity gives us the best level in the game. The middle school. I don't think there was a school level since the original game. I don't know if this one is as good, but it's very good. The atmosphere is tight and oppressive. The dark, narrow hallways are suffocating, and there are great scares.
Where? Where are you? You had your chance. Where are you? Found you.
Just a joke.
One moment there's an enemy in front of you, you go out to confront it, but it's gone now. You solve a few puzzles, and suddenly the whole place is filled with enemies. But not all of them are alive, and you have no idea which one will jump at you. It's great.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't mention it, but a while ago a new monster showed up. A big, disgusting flower bush with a mouth and a big knife. He shows up here too, and it can't be killed. Yet. Imagine if Pyramid Head got fat and ugly because he was depressed after James left him. Imagine that, and you get this guy. On the way to the school, you can find notes about the importance of religion. If you disrespect the gods, they will put decomposing animals inside of your corpse, just like in real life. Maybe this creature is what happens to those who don't show respect to Inari-sama, which is that fox god. It's hinted that there's something more going on here, besides being trapped with monsters born out of your subconscious. Look at them, going out for a walk. When they're not chasing me, they're being productive and doing some cardio. Hinako finally finds the key to that damn gate. She returns to her friends and hands over the key. They convince her to take a nap, while Rinko continues to touch Shu's arm or something. She wakes up in the spooky place again after drinking that lava water. Foxman is talking about getting rid of her old self. Whatever that means, she continues to follow him without hesitation.
I will go ahead and make arrangements. Come, bid your farewells.
Yes.
No!
This level is creepy. There's metallic chains everywhere, which reminds me of the rusty Otherworld of the original games. This is also where we fight this minibus, a grotesque female creature with lots of really big personalities, or maybe those are pregnant bellies. It constantly screams in pain and gives birth to enemies, like something is forcing it to give birth, because that's what women do. Symbolism! We can find a note from Rinko. It seems like she was very supportive of Hinako and encouraged her to always be herself, which is in stark contrast to how she's behaving towards her now. Either they were good friends until she got super jealous, or this isn't actually Rinko. Instead, it's a manifestation of how Hinako thinks Rinko views her. Because this is a Silent Hill game, everything is a manifestation of something. We also find Rinko herself. She's trapped in a cage. Maybe this is a chance to make things right. Nah, Hinako drops her into lava. She's sick of her. Toasty! Oh, remember Sakuko? We've defeated her already, so Hinako kills her again by leaving her alone in a cage. Oh hey, it's Shu. Okay, maybe we should actually try and save him. Nope, Hinako kills him too. Damn girl, I know you're angry at them, but damn. By the way, I didn't have any control of that. She just did it by herself. It should be fairly obvious at this point that none of this is actually real, but I'll explain what happens when we get to the endings. There's like 5 of them. You know, we could have avoided all of this if you just climbed that fucking gate. She wakes up at the school, and predictably, Shu and Rinko are gone, which makes you wonder if killing them in the other world caused them to die here as well. Or not, because the gate is unlocked, which means they used the key Hinako found and left her behind. she decides to stick to the plan and heads to his house, but is attacked by the menacing fog and tons of monsters. I can take them. She runs away, but the fog literally manifests into a physical monster and knocks her down, but she manages to escape thanks to some falling trees. She comes across a locked fence, and oh my god, just climb the damn fence! You have no problem running for hours without taking a break, but when it comes to climbing something, oh no, no sir. I'd rather deal with a million monsters and look for a key. She eventually makes her way to his house, but no one is there. Then the fog monster appears and starts tossing her around, instead of just breaking her neck, like its nemesis from the Resident Evil 3 remake. She's knocked out, so we're back in the spooky shrine, where Foxman tells her,
"The path ahead is one of great pain and suffering."
I know. But I'm not afraid.
yeah, okay, we've been through a lot already. How hard can it be? Oh god, what the why is she cutting her arm off? Some foxy ladies bring her a literal fox arm and attach it to her body. Okay, that was random and brutal, but at least I got a cool arm, so I guess it was worth it. Oh god, it's not over. The ritual isn't over. She's being branded like a cow. Okay, so after willingly being tortured, Hinako can finally go home, right? No, she also needs someone to peel off her face. Remember, she chose to do this. No one really forced her, at least not at gunpoint. No disrespect to this religion, but what in the actual fuck? I know it's practically a rule that people in Silent Hill need to suffer in some way, but damn. She is then given a fox mask to compensate for her, lack of face. It attaches to her skin and becomes a part of her. And yes, this was all for him. It's heavily implied that everything Hinako does in the Dark Shrine is for Foxman. This whole ritual represents some kind of union between them. She destroys parts of herself and replaces them with things that connects her to him, like a fox mask, a fox arm, being branded like an animal, and she loves it, or at least she convinces herself that she needs to do it.
Finally. I have been reborn.
Speaking of the fox arm, we get to use it as a weapon. It's the only weapon we have now. There's no durability, and it can stun enemies pretty easily. But if that wasn't enough, it can absorb the essence of monsters and transform into a big Gunner arm, which is basically an I win button against any normal enemy. And you also don't take damage when you're in this state. How did Silent Hill turn into God of War? The hairy Gunner hand will be useful really soon, but first we need to walk down the aisle for like 5 minutes. Apparently everything Hinako had to suffer was in preparation for their wedding. She needed to surrender her flesh and soul to Fox Dude, but someone has an objection.
Today is such a happy, perfect day. So happy.
Rinko?
Because today, Hinako will die and be gone for good!
Rico! I'll die. I'll be gone for good. Just like you want me to. I swear. So forget all about me. Just live and be happy!
I love your you! I will scour every last trace of your name from my memory and the world! I want you gone!
My name is Shimizu Hinako!
This is just like one of my Japanese anime. It's Rinko's hatred towards Hinako. By the way, I'm just speculating that that's what it is. I don't actually know. Everything is an assumption. My whole life is an assumption. It's called a Rinko-like entity. It's her hatred and jealousy. Why are we fighting physical manifestations of other people's feelings instead of our own? It makes me think like we're inside the other character's subconscious. How's the boss fight in terms of gameplay? It's actually pretty good. She has close and range attacks. She can spit lava. She summons little versions of herself, which you can easily destroy and absorb into your foxy hand.
I'll place a curse on you. You'll never know happiness.
Whether or not you're happy is up to you!
Hinako, you're totally right. But bitches be crazy. She's not gonna listen to you. With the help of the Gunner hand, Hinako manages to strike her down. And I mean really strike her down.
I never wanted to see you like this, Rinko. But I'm very happy that in the end, we finally got to tell each other how we truly feel.
Stupid
I think this is how school children imagine they could handle their arguments, like a Japanese anime. At this point, it should be clear that there are two versions of Hinako, the one in the dark and the one in the fog, the submissive furry and the independent one who lost to a fog monster. It might have been obvious thanks to her dialogue and different behavior in each dimension, but now she literally looks different. She's not a furry here. A ringing phone leads her back to Shu's house.
Hello?
What's up? What's up? What the? Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone.
What's up? What's up?
Yo, Duque, pick up the phone.
Yo. What's up?
You snotty little brat!
It's her mother. Dinner is ready, so she needs to come home. She also hears Rinko and Shu supposedly getting slaughtered. Yeah, my mother always used to cook my friends for dinner. Oh, what do you want, sister?
Time is running out.
It's clear her sister underwent a similar transformation to the other Hinako. She also got married and became a slave to her husband. Despite that, she still wants Hinako to choose for herself what she wants to do in life. But she must hurry.
You must decide your future. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. The decision is yours, and yours alone. But please, remember this one thing. You can't think about it forever. You're running out of time to choose.
Whatever, I'm hungry. What's for dinner, Ma? I'm starving.
What's going on? The holes, the doors, everything's changed.
Yeah, where's the kitchen? I'm goofing around, but I have to say, the house is a fantastic level. I know I said the school is the best level in the game, but I might have to reconsider. At first, there's nothing inside besides a few puzzles. It's empty, quiet, you don't know what to expect. There's environmental storytelling, like these pictures, you can't see anyone's faces, which might suggest that Hinako is starting to forget or is letting go of her past. There's no enemies, so you assume it's just a puzzle section. Then the corridors start looping.
My house. What the hell's happening?
Each time you enter, the atmosphere changes. It either becomes darker and monsters begin to appear, or it's foggier and there's even more enemies, or it's completely bright but somehow still creepy. It feels like PT if PT was actually turned into a game with actual gameplay mechanics. The house feels alive, like it's watching your every move. In terms of horror, it's one of the most effective parts of the game. There's also this tiki statue. She says she should leave right away, so I did. But then I went back and nothing happened. Is it just trolling me? Is it like Eileen's head in SH4? The main puzzle in the house is to find 4 crests in order to gain access into Hinako's room, which reminds me of Alessa's room from SH1, where you also needed to find objects in order to open a door. When you succeed, you get this wacky cutscene. Hinako finds another Hinako. I told you there were 2 of them. This is the Dark Hinako, the one from the Dark Shrine, only she's not a furry right now. She's also confused as to why she is here. She speculates that they are not the same, but they are part of the same person. Or something like that, I don't know.
I think you're me, but I'm not you. That's my guess. But who are you? I am Hinako, but who does that make you? I'm also Hinako. Although, I might not have Shimizu Hinako's heart and mind anymore. You're not making any sense at all! What the hell are you talking about?
Dark Hinako then comes to the logical conclusion that they must fight to the death. I'm assuming this needs to happen in order to see which one will be the dominant personality. She also threatens to kill her friends and family, which in a symbolic way means that she wants to sever ties with them. Fine, I don't like them anyway.
Hey, is Shu really that special? He still just treats you as his pal to play Space Wars with, right? Oh, he doesn't even see you as a woman! He's just some guy you grew up with. His death won't matter one bit. You're wrong. He's my friend. He's special. My one and only partner. I won't let you kill him!
It's funny how, after having this intense and emotional conversation, she goes right back to her casual facial expression. The house also offers more insight into Hinako's relationship with her parents. Her father is an angry drunk loser who lost a lot of money to some scam artist. Probably sold him some Doge coins. And her mother is a doormat because she's a married woman, and that's just what they did in the 60s, I guess. Even when her father almost slashed Hinako with a knife, her mother didn't get angry. She was like, "Oh honey, please calm down. Please don't murder our child. I'll go make you a cup of tea."
Please, calm down, dear. Relax.
Hinako is angry at both of them, because they both want her to be like her mother, an obedient slave. So of course they transform, and now we have to fight them. So, because she's not acting like a woman, she needs to die? Yeah, that makes sense. But why did you turn into Ornstein and Smo? Okay, this is a Souls-like. One of them is fast and the other is slow. As you'd expect, the best strategy is to separate them. Though you can fight both of them at once if you're really confident in your dodging skills. I, for example, am really good at that. I've had a lot of practice dodging my responsibilities. I am literally next to you. Maybe this doesn't mean anything, but he can push the mother during the boss fight, showing how he only cares about himself and doesn't care about her well-being because she's female. Or maybe he's just a fat drunk slob who doesn't even know where he's going. I assume that every big fat monster in the game represents her father, and all of the common enemies, the twitchy women with knives, represent her mother. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is all speculation, but maybe this form shows how he was punished for his actions. Maybe he disrespected the fox god. It was stated that anyone who does that will be bloated and stuffed with smelly dead creatures. Maybe that's why he got scammed and lost all of the family's money. And the mother, maybe the twitching limp body and the lack of sight shows how she doesn't have control of herself because she is owned by someone else. Or maybe she just likes putting flowers on her head. I don't know. After getting beat up by their teenage daughter, they leave the premises and return to their normal self, like they shed their skin. Hinako goes after them, but sees that, well, the fog monster got to them. Hey, wait, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wanna do it myself. Damn it. Hinako freaks out, faints, and we take control of Dark Hinako again. While the normal Hinako was busy committing patricide, this one was drinking wet rice with her foxy husband. He then literally marks her so that everyone would know that she's his property. Look, game, I got the female ready. You don't need to rub it in. I got it even before she was literally marked like an animal. It's not exactly subtle. This is a very short level. There's a few small puzzles, and a cutscene where Junko shows up and basically tells her to execute the normal Hinako, the one who wants to be free. What a good sister. We then switch back to the normal one, and she's a little bit, maybe kind of upset. She basically has a mental breakdown.
You took everything. You took everything. Everything from me! All of this is your fault! You took everything I cared about from me! Try to take me! Give it back! Give me back my happiness! You're going to suffer! When everything's standing in my way dead! It's your fault. It's all your fault! Look at this! It's all a mess!
That's what I say when a video doesn't get a lot of views.
It's all a mess!
She catches up with the fog monster, or fogster, but no matter how close she gets, she's not able to close the distance completely. It keeps teleporting away. The monster managed to corrupt the entire town. No one is left except for Hinako. Or maybe she's not here as well. There's a missing poster with her face and picture. Spooky. She eventually finds the fogster and confronts her about everything. They're about to have an epic battle. No, actually she just kills her. Yup. An act encouraged by Junko. The monster is revealed to be Dark Hinako. She finally destroyed her independent self, so now she can be a slave forever. Yay! We then see what happened, like 20 minutes ago. She always looked like herself, but Hinako saw her as the fog monster. After showing her furry cosplay to a bunch of monsters, she returned home to her lovely parents. Unlike with normal Hinako, they're happy to see her. This is the version of Hinako that obeyed their orders and acted as a quote-unquote proper woman.
Hinako, our beautiful girl. Come on, dear. Look at her.
This isn't your home anymore. Even if you come back alone, I won't expect to be let inside.
Shut up, Dad. You're not the boss of me anymore. This is when normal Hinako saw her parents being killed. After supposedly dying herself, she wakes up in the dark shrine. It's the first time this version of Hinako has been here. we basically speedrun this whole place, but in reverse. We see all of the areas and puzzles we solved throughout the game, and just skip them. Occasionally we get locked by walls of fire and have to fight some enemies. If there was any doubt that all of this is inside of her head, she literally says it herself.
The road twists and turns. It's like I'm walking through my head.
Symbolism. She eventually reaches the very first puzzle, and she smashes it like a maniac. Yeah, fuck that puzzle. Maybe if you play the game on the lowest difficulties, she just smashes every single puzzle like a cave woman instead of solving it. Furry Hinako shows up, and the normal one finally has enough confidence and anger to fight her. The boss fight is cool, it's all foggy, and we get to stab ourselves with a knife. The boss uses her fox hand against us, so now I know how the enemies felt. Being touched by a furry is no joke. She has a lot of hard-hitting attacks, but otherwise it's like any other fight, dodge and attack. Except for that one bullshit attack that covers the whole area, and I have no idea how to dodge it. What's unique here is that if you lose, Hinako will literally be too angry to die. She gets back up and the area becomes darker. And if she dies again, the game basically gives you cheats. Hinako becomes even angrier and you lose all of your weapons except for one. But you have infinite durability, infinite stamina, infinite healing, and regenerating health. I didn't know you gain superpowers if you have a split personality. Having said that, you can still die if you're not careful. So, be careful. I restarted the fight and defeated her without dying once. GG. She evaporates and Hinako teleports back to the shrine. She seemingly gained control of her life, of her destiny. And what does she do with her newfound freedom? She goes completely bananas and starts attacking anyone she sees. Her rage hasn't subsided. Her rampage takes her across every place we've been through, like the shrine, her giant house, and the streets of her town. Only the monsters seem to talk in normal voices and are afraid of her. They call her insane.
Are you insane?
Also, these pills keep showing up everywhere. Yeah, I think it's finally time to talk about the endings. The game ends with Hinako walking out of the shrine, only to be greeted by the police. Why would they suddenly arrest her? Maybe because all of the monsters she killed were actually people. See? Normal people at their finest. I haven't watched any videos about this game, haven't really read anything about it, so this is my understanding. I'll explain the ending the way I understood it. The whole game was obviously a metaphor. I assume the ending takes place between 5 to 10 years in the future, since one of the cops says she's in her 20s. She tried to be quote-unquote the perfect woman and do what is expected of her. She acted like she was supposed to. She got married, but it was an arranged marriage, so she eventually realized that she's not being true to herself. She couldn't live like this. Before the final fight, we can see that she takes a bunch of these painkillers.
How long have you been taking this? Is it really okay for you to take that much?
Yes, I'm fine. These things help me calm down.
Stop that right now!
The ones Shu gives her in the beginning. It's an item you can use during gameplay. Because of all of the pressure she felt from everyone's expectations, she took tons of drugs to try and get some sense of control back. She took more painkillers than Max Payne.
Well, wasn't this nice? The perfect end to a perfect trip.
As a result, she went insane, killed everyone in the wedding, and escaped. The normal Hinako, the one who didn't turn into a fox, was the manifestation of her desire to be free, to not let others control her fate, to live the way she wants to live, to beat people over the head. When she defeats her fox version, the version who surrendered herself, she basically takes control back. Only at that point, mentally, it was too late for her. She was too far gone. This is the worst ending, and the only one you can get on your first playthrough. The second ending is more about the fear of growing up, being scared of change, wanting things to stay the same as they were during our childhood, which is mostly why I talk about old video games. She's basically mad at herself for getting married, because that affected her relationships with her friends and family. The relationships aren't the same anymore, so it's like they're dead to her. Whenever she was chasing her and covered everything with red flowers, it was basically her killing off her past, forcing her to leave everything behind. When she left with her husband, she disappeared from everyone's lives.
Yes. This is my decision. You took everything from me.
No, I didn't.
Sakuko, Ringo, and Shu. You even took my parents.
It's not like you can't see them. They can still visit you. It's just not like when you were a kid anymore.
Shut up, you monster! I want myself back! Give back everything you've taken!
Sorry, Mi. But everything you're feeling right now, I'm ready to face it all.
This is by far the most anime Silent Hill has ever gotten. So far, it's not too crazy. Hinako fighting with herself is normal at this point. Well, it's about to get weird. Weirder than usual. Fox Mask suddenly shows up and one-shots normal Hinako, who according to him was possessed by something. But then Shu shows up and knocks him out. So he can one-shot evil spirits, but he can't take on a kid with a baseball bat? This isn't actually Shu. What I think is happening is that this is the part of Hinako that can't let go of the past. The part that wants everything to stay the same. Foxman eliminated most of her, but her memories of Shu are too strong for him, so Hinako has to remove it herself. Maybe on some level, she knew that he loved her. He reveals that he knew that the pills he was giving her were dangerous. He didn't want her to get married, so she could stay by his side. So he took the risk and gave her the pills anyway, because somehow they would allow her to see how much he cares about her and prevent her from getting married? I don't know. People in the friend zone do stupid things.
I'm such a piece of trash!
He never wanted to let her go. He wants her to stay as the little girl who played Space Invaders with him. He does want her to be happy, but something inside of him demands that she hates him. He's then possessed by, whatever this is. Cool. This time we play as Dark Hinako. And, the boss fight looks cool, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have time to record footage for the other endings. So I took this from YouTube. Every ending you see from now on is from this channel. This creature is called a Tsukumogami, which is a spirit that typically possesses 100-year-old objects. She eventually defeats it by slapping it really hard, and it crumbles away. Foxman casually walks up to him like nothing happened and offers to be best friends forever. They then do a really awkward bro fist. That's wholesome, I guess.
Anyway, bro fist in 3, okay? In 3. Don't think you're like one of those who's too cool to bro fist.
It's a really good ending, right? All of them made up and lived happily ever after. Well, no. It's implied that she still ended up killing her husband, I think. Either that, or she realized she's really unhappy with her life. Yay!
I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to become my mother.
Okay, now this is where it gets really wacky. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. She fights with Fox Hinako like in the first ending, but this time, Foxman interrupts her, who is then knocked out by Shu again.
Hinako!
This time though, he doesn't take it sitting down, so he stands up and turns into an actual fox. Is that what happens if you get hit by a baseball bat multiple times? He blocks their path and forces Hinako to fight him. He reveals that he truly loves her, but the way he talks about their marriage makes it seem like he's possessed, like something is forcing him to get married to her. So she kicks his ass.
Hinako! Over here! Hurry!
Oh, now you show up. Fox tells them to get the heck out of here. Before leaving, Shu suddenly remembers him from their childhood. At least his human form. I'll explain it in the next ending. I don't know how I feel about any of these endings. They're not really satisfying, they're all bad or just sad. And they are still vague, which is the point I guess, but it doesn't matter, because none of them are canon. Now it's time for the true ending. Oh boy! You know how I just explained all of the endings? Well, forget everything I said, because the supposed true ending throws all of that out the window. What actually happened is a chess war between two gods, and we were just pawns.
Junko, you and me, everyone. Someone is toying with all of us.
What do you mean?
One of them wants to marry me off. The other one wants to stop the wedding. This whole time, they've been pitting me against myself.
Fox News is actually a man named Kotoyuki. He comes from the rich and noble Tsuneki family. It is said that when everything is in chaos and people are suffering, that's when they make the most money. He is an illegitimate child who eventually inherited his father's fortune. It turns out he knew Hinako and Shu since their childhood, and even played their stupid alien games together.
I'm Kotoyuki. What's your name? I'm Hinako. Shimizu Hinako.
I didn't even remember that.
Hinako was forced into an arranged marriage with him, but more than that, I think it's implied she was sold off by her father to be married, because he's a dumb idiot who got scammed and needed money. Yeah, selling your daughter is always a good backup plan. All of that sounds messed up, but still grounded, right? Well, apparently, Kotoyuki comes from a long lineage of fox worshippers. Hinako was forced into this marriage, but Kotoyuki was literally possessed by the fox god. According to him, once in a blue moon, a special woman is born, which in this case is Hinako. When that happens, a member of the Fox clan is possessed into marrying her, which in this case is Kotoyuki. Oh, and the Fox god likes to eat aburaege. Aburaege? Which is deep-fried tofu.
He was alone. All that time! Don't laugh!
At the same time, there's another entity, the one who possessed Shu, who is against this whole marriage thing. He is represented by her childhood doll. When you play as Dark Hinako, the doll urges you to go back. It constantly warns you about the fox, which makes you think it's on your side. But no, it was just using you to hurt the fox. Maybe all of the bosses you fight in the Dark Shrine are also manifested by him. I don't know why the fox god is so horny, or why the other one really hates weddings, but the bottom line is they were both fighting each other, and in the process manipulated both Hinako and Kotoyuki. Both versions of Hinako then fight simultaneously against their supposed fate. The perspective shifts from one version to another. It's a cool visual. You're fighting two bosses one after another. At the very end, they win and become truly free. They can finally carve their own destiny. Kotoyuki and both versions of Hinako decide to search for their own meaning in life, while re-evaluating their relationship. Maybe they'll get married, or maybe they'll move on from each other. Maybe they'll become professional demon hunters, or Twitch streamers. He decides to travel and have fun, while the two Hinakos are silently embracing their freedom. You can see how to get all of the endings once you finish the game once. And of course you can just Google it. You also get New Game Plus and some unlockables, like a cool sword. So that's cool and all, but the only ending that officially connects this game to the previous ones is of course the actual true canonical ending. You know it. You love it. The UFO Ending. Their stupid alien game is real after all. Aliens are abducting people and replacing them with clones, so they need to figure out who's real and who's fake.
You might be an alien, or maybe someone close to you is an alien. These things copy everything down to your memories, but they're not perfect. Hinako, try saying something only the real you would know.
Oh,
Rinko once took some of Shu's hair and hid it inside her pillow!
Let it go try out a love spell and dream!
In the credits, you can spot the real mastermind behind the events of the game, that dastardly dog from Silent Hill 2. She's so cute. Eventually, Hinako's parents tell them the aliens did come, but the neighborhood watch found them and beat them up. I assume the aliens probably went back to space, where they prepared for their eventual meeting with Harry, and James, and Heather, and blowing up Silent Hill. Speaking of the original games, it's time for that rant I promised you. I'm sure you've been eagerly waiting for it at the edge of your seat. First of all, I wanna say, I think the game is good. It's spooky. It's fun. It just seems to me like the game could have been a new, original IP, but the developers or publishers slapped the Silent Hill name on it because they could. Yeah, there's fog and psychological horror, but not every game that has those is automatically a Silent Hill game, especially when there's literally nothing that connects it to the franchise in terms of story. It's almost like what happened with Prey 2017. Fantastic game, but has nothing to do with the original, which is also a fantastic game. Oh, and before anyone says, but Silent Hill 4 doesn't take place in Silent Hill, and Silent Hill 3 takes place outside of the town for most of the game. And so does Homecoming, and all of those games are considered to be Silent Hill games, and shh. No, you're missing the point, hypothetical viewer. While it's true they took place outside of the spooky town, they were still connected to the established lore, which made it apparent that all of them were taking place in the same universe. Each of them also has a specific reason for why there are monsters outside of the town, and these reasons are always connected to the town. For example, in the third game, Heather was pregnant with a devil god because the cult of Silent Hill performed a spooky ritual on her. She was also a reincarnation of a girl who was born with psychic powers in the town, Alessa. Basically, as long as she is pregnant with this creature, the powers of Silent Hill will follow her wherever she goes. In SH4, you never go to the town, but you visit locations that are nearby. People clearly speak about the town, it's a place that you know exists in the game. And there are monsters because a crazy cult member came from Silent Hill and performed a very specific ritual. He thought his mother was literally an apartment, but we don't need to talk about that now. In Homecoming, there's monsters because the gods of Silent Hill are upset or something.
We're going to Silent Hill.
Shit! See? There's always specific reasons, and the town itself is always visited eventually, or is at least mentioned, which is never the case in Resurrection of F. Maybe F stands for fog, because fog this. I like the fog, but it's basically used as a marketing tool at this point. Look, having said all of that, I don't actually care that much, but that's just not how it works. The fog doesn't just appear in other places, it only appears in Silent Hill. Well, I guess SH4 had some foggy places. Whatever. Chronologically, the first time anything supernatural happened in these games was in Silent Hill 1. Or technically it was Silent Hill Origins. Alessa is the source of power for the town, and all of that happened in like 1980. Silent Hill F takes place in the 60s. Alessa wasn't even born yet. Even if you believe that Silent Hill always had supernatural properties because it was built on Native American sacred land, then it still doesn't make sense that Silent Hill F has spooky monsters because it takes place in Japan. You could say that PT hinted at multiple Silent Hills. Maybe somewhere out there, similar towns exist, but that was never confirmed, and PT is just a demo for a game that doesn't exist. Yes, I know it still hurts, but it doesn't count. And no, there's no such thing as the Silent Hill phenomenon. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's not like anytime someone is depressed somewhere, Silent Hill just senses it and pours fog and monsters all over the place. If you have some kind of dark secret and you live in Europe or the North Pole or wherever, Silent Hill won't randomly manifest around you. Silent Hill is a physical place and will only affect you if you actually go there, or if very specific conditions are met, like the rituals I mentioned. At best, it will send you a letter from your dead wife, telling you to come over and hang out. If James chose to ignore that letter, he could have just stayed home and safely masturbate all day. They could have easily made it so the cult is somehow connected to these gods, to the fox and the other one. The only possible link between the games are these white flowers. They may be the white Claudia from the other games, but it seems more like an Easter egg, a reference. Moral of the story, for the players, try not to judge the game solely based on its name, or how you think it should play out based on its name, kind of like what I just did. Judge it on the actual content it has. If you think it's not a real Silent Hill game, but you still enjoyed it as a video game, then that's all that matters. Was this the big return for the greatest psychological horror franchise? Or was someone using the Silent Hill name to tell a story about women in the 60s? I don't know about that. Again, as a game, it's good, even great. Any horror fan should play it. The story is interesting enough, and the combat is pretty fun once you get used to it, but as a Silent Hill game, something's missing. You know, mainly the town itself, but also the fact it doesn't feel as deep as the original Team Silent games. The characters are weak, I literally didn't care about anyone, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt so much more emotion and connection for the characters in the original games, and not just in Silent Hill 2. Even though you see each of them like 4 or 5 times throughout the whole game, they left a way bigger impact on me than the characters in Silent Hill F, who you interact with way more. Even in the parts where they're supposedly dying, I felt nothing. Maybe I felt joy. Maybe because these people are so unlikable. But even if we look at unlikable people and villains from the previous games, I cared way more about what happened to them. The characters are boring. They're just boring.
Liar!
Am I the only one who thinks like this? Am I crazy? Is Shu really a better character than Sybil, or Maria, or Douglas?
Sorry. I'll wait here.
In conclusion, if nothing else, it's one of the spookiest games in the franchise, and I did love playing it. If you compare it to the Western games, it might be the best out of them. Maybe. I need to replay them again to be sure. I think the developers handled the subject matters pretty well. When video games or other media try to tackle these kinds of themes, it's usually pretentious and cringe. You did a good job, Silent Hill F. Okay, I've been yapping for long enough. Please like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. More videos are coming very soon. Stay tuned and have a great day. Or night. Or something in between. Thanks to anyone who took the time to vote for this game. You're awesome. Okay, bye.
Can't use the bridge.